Hey, what's going on, guys? It's BG. Welcome back to the channel. We got a couple things to cover because we got some stuff in the mail over the last week and a half or so. And we got a lot going on the bench, too. So we're going to show you a little brief glimpses of what we got working on. Everything deserves its own haven't got time to plug in the whole YouTube thing. So hopefully you stick around for it. We'll talk to you in just a second. Okay, first off, we're going to say thank you to our good friend Jason over at Blue Ox Model Shop because we did some model swapping and he included one of his little decals in this last swap package that we sent us. And this is awesome, dude. And this is one of my favorite builds that he's done because it was such a pain in the neck for him to build, but he persevered and did an awesome job with it. So kudos to you, my friend. I think that's a good selection for this card for the sticker. And you know where this is going to go? The Toolbox of Fame out in the garage. That's right. So thank you, Jason. Always a pleasure, my friend. Next up, we have a shop card from Ed's Shoot Dang Models. So here we go. That's a beautiful looking logo there, dude. Awesome job. And if you want a shop card from him, go ahead and get a hold of him right down there. And yeah, we're happy to support your channel there, Ed. Thank you for all of your kind support of recent months. We appreciate that very, very much. And then our good buddy Leon. Oh man, we got a shop card from Leon. So this is awesome. And this is the model he's going to be known by because that's the one that's made into that magazine. If you haven't gotten the latest edition of Auto Modeler magazine, go check it out because that bad boy right there is in it. And not only did we get the card, but we got a larger decal. Yay! So we got a larger decal for the Toolbox of Fame. So thank you very much, Leon, for that. Always a pleasure, sir. And then, of course, we had to reach out to our good friend, Mr. Kelly Coons, because he sent us a shop card as well. But we needed a part for our dart. And we got a donor kit from our buddy Matt, but it was missing a very valuable piece that we wanted to have, which is the roll bar. Let's see here. We're going to use something sharp on camera. Of course, there are going to be links down below to all the channels that we're talking about, so please go check them out. Let's see here. And ta-da! Oh, look at this. Oh, this is a little different than I thought it was. That's the right one, though. Hot diggity daffodil. Paris resins. Oh, that is cool. Okay, thank you very much for that, Kelly. We are deeply in your debt, sir. Thank you for that. And that wasn't the only thing we got. I did fail to mention that this is actually his new logo. On the back of the shop card here, this is his new logo. And he says that his son actually says he should change his segment from I like that to I dig that because it goes in with archaeology. Kudos to you, young sir. That is a genius idea. But he also sent us a bit of tissue with something hard inside. Hopefully it's not a boogie. Let's see what it is here. And oh, look at that! It's a poker chip, and the note attached to this actually says that I should put this with the Jimmy build that we did because he digs that or he likes that, whichever you choose. Okay, Kelly, I will be putting this in a display case with that Jimmy build. Thank you for sending this. I'm actually getting a little choked up, sir. Thank you so much for helping us out with the part we needed. And then this is just super awesome as well. So thank you for that. And finally, on the mail call, we reached out to our buddy Mini Mike, or Scale Model Outlaw. And we need to pull back a little bit here. But we ordered this from him, and it just came in yesterday. And this is not fitting on screen. I have a smaller desktop than I usually do. I've got a lot of junk back there. But yeah, this guy, I've always liked this Grand Sport styling, and it was super cool to actually see he was willing to sell this. So I reached out to him, got a good deal on it, just got it in the mail yesterday. But man, this is a cool kit. I'm really digging this guy. So thank you, Mini Mike, for selling this one to us. We really appreciate that. And we'll get on to what we got going on the bench here in just a sec. All right, so we're working on the Iceman Collections Origin of Lowbrow kit that was artwork that was created by G. Weber, one of my favorite artists. And this is an intricate little kit. It's not like your usual, slap it together, build it type of thing. This has a little bit of thinking that goes onto it because there's an order of process that's not readily apparent, but once you get into it, you'll be like, ah, yes, I see, I understand now. Biggest thing that I've discovered in my build is we want to super glue the seat back to the wheels. But before we do that, we want to know what angle is this wheel going to be at. There is a flat spot on the bottom to help us with that guide, but you can see that it can rotate a little bit. So we want to make sure we have our seat at the right angle. So that means we have to mount the side rails. And in order to make sure we have the side rails mounted correctly, we have to have the front wheel available. And that does have a flat spot on there also, so we can get the angles all figured out. And everything, this is made from a piece of artwork, so there is a little bit of fudge factor here and there. So once we get that rear wheel figured out and we got the rear seat glued in place and cured, then we could move on to the next aspect, which is Fred. So we did go through and it was best for us to remove the mounting lug that's on the seat bottom. It wasn't allowing Fred to sit down far enough, so we went ahead and cut that off and was able to, now we could position him wherever we want to, fore, aft, side to side. And then we were able to glue on his left arm and get that positioned correctly, so we made sure that he was going to be snugged up against the side rail as best as possible. And then the hard part for us was doing the right arm, because we did have to remove the mounting lug in there in order to get this to fit into the shoulder socket correctly and have the right distance and angle so that he would be holding onto the steering wheel. It's a wooden disc. But and then we glued on his head here just the other day, and we had to do a little bit of gap filling in the back there, so that's what the green stuff is. No, this isn't moss. This is taking a long time to build, but it's not moss. So when we get to the process of assembly, we're going to be, adding the side rails onto the rear wheel, which already has the seat glued to it, and then Fred's going to fit in there, thusly, and then we're going to have him saddled up to the side of that wheel, that rail there, just as good as possible. And then you'll notice that the lugs for the front wheel actually have a taper to them. That'll make it easier for us to slide this in place and get that attached like that. Fred likes to jump out once in a while, so we got to make sure he's in there. And then we want to keep putting it on a flat surface so we can get all of our angles correct. And then once that's all home, then we can get the steering wheel. Oh, another thing is when you're doing your mock-ups and stuff, glue your steering wheel in place while you're doing your mock-up so that you understand where that hand's going to be holding onto it. And then when you go to put it in place, ta-da, you can get it on, you get it underneath there. Fred's not 100% home, so we got to fudge a little bit. But yeah, so it's a little fiddly here and there, and it's kind of like one process is on top of the other for assembly. Biggest concern for us right now is actually the roof, because this is a very sharp angle and hanging down a lot, which gives it a great look, but it does hang down a little too far. It touches the front wheel, so I just need to re-drill the holes so that they're a little more angled back. I do need to watch out because Wilma is supposed to attach to this itty-bitty little notch right there. One of the pieces of fringe off the back of her skirt actually fits down inside of there to help mount it all up, and her hand sits on top of this itty-bitty little lug right there. So we need to make sure Wilma is in place correctly, and then we can figure out how much space we have for the top to rock it back. And we'll probably have to rock it back, hold it, glue it, rock it back, and hold it till the glue cures. I think that's going to be the whole thing there. But we want to make sure we give Wilma plenty of room because, dude, she's the star of the show on this type of build, right? So there's that. Our USACC build, how are we doing on time? USACC build, got a lot going on with this guy. It's all on the chassis. We did a lot of scratch baking of the rear shackles to give that the right height so that our wheel, I didn't want to cut the wheel wells on the car. I didn't want to cut those at all. I wanted to have this sitting up so that the wheels were just below that lip, so it looked pretty good. And then we got to mark where we have this mounted because I do like where it's at. But this is white glued in place, so we want to pull that off, mark it where it's at, pull it off, clean up the attaching spots, and super glue it home for realsies, and then move on with the rest of the build, because I do want to get this in paint before the end of the week. I mean, we're running out of time on this, so we got that going on there. And then with our small scale group build, we have the body in color, but do you see the issue? We got pebbly paint on the hood, and that's my fault, because sides look pretty good, rear looks good, top looks great. That hood, it's always a friggin' hood. No, I'm not going to mask it off and paint it black. I thought about it, but no, it was my fault, because I used a can of paint that was almost, I used a TS49 for the red. Almost out. I thought I had plenty to do it, and I did have enough to do 3 sides, but not the top of the hood, and it just, and I was like, ugh. All right, let it dry, let it cure up, and then we'll come back and see if we can sand it out and polish it a little bit. I do have another can of the paint, so if I have to, I can come back and do some touch-ups and get that looking better. But once that's touched up, we'll do a gloss coat over the whole thing and then seal it, and then get onto the hand painting that we got to do on the front, because there is a lot. Smaller is not necessarily easier. The interior, got that all painted up. I got a little bit of a semi-gloss coat on there. Probably do a little bit of a wash to bring out some of the detail on the seats. I like the color we used in there. And that's going to fit in like this, like that. And I'm liking that. I'll probably paint the inside of the body, maybe after I do the gloss coat, but paint the inside of the body that gray color, so that kind of carries through. But I like that. I like that a lot. And several folks did comment saying that the yellow lenses on the lights are probably actually on purpose, because these guys would have had yellow tinted lights. The European cars would have that a lot, so that's awesome. Back to the USACC, we have our door cards painted. This is the color I want to use for the interior. That's right, it's creamy peanut butter. Actually, it's a TS43 desert sand or something like that from Tamiya, but I wanted a nice grocery getter color on the inside. So there we go. That is that. Hopefully you guys stuck through to this point. If you do, you know what time it is. Cookie time. Hey, maybe it'll be peanut butter cookies today. Yay. But yeah, we'll talk to you a little bit later on. Thanks for sticking around this far. Appreciate that very much. And we will talk to you later on. Bye.